Goeiedag, good day, fellow South Africans and citizens of the world. And this is a shout out to Dee, one of my oldest subscribers, who sent me this email, and it's termed, This is why we love children. This is why we love children. And it's a humorous email. 1, nudity. And now, you're never going to see me nude, not even with my t-shirt off. Now, that would shock kids, believe me. Anyway, getting back to the email. I was driving with my 3 young children one warm summer evening when a woman in the convertible ahead of us stood up and waved. She was stark naked. As I was reeling from the shock, I heard my 5-year-old shout from the back seat, "Mum, that lady isn't wearing a seatbelt." Don't you love the innocence of children? Absolutely classical. 2, opinions. On the first day of school, a first grader handed in his teacher a note from his mother. The note read, "The opinions expressed by this child are not necessarily those of his parents." We are becoming so legalistic in the world. It's absolutely crazy. 3, ketchup or tomato sauce. A woman was trying hard to get the tomato sauce out of the jar. During her struggle, the phone rang, so she asked her 4-year-old daughter to answer the phone. And this is good. The 4-year-old said on the phone, "Mummy can't come to the phone to talk to you right now. She's hitting the bottle." 4, more nudity. A little boy got lost at the YMCA and found himself in the woman's locker room. When he was spotted, the room burst into shrieks, with ladies grabbing towels and running for cover. The little boy watched in amazement and then asked, "What's the matter? Haven't you ever seen a little boy before?" Now, I have to tell you, okay, this is confession time. Well, it's not actually confession, it's just innocence time. When I lived in Iringa, and I was probably about 4 years old, I suppose, and my first girlfriend, she used to always come across and, sit down and be with me, and we used to talk and, baby talk and stuff like that. You know what it's like when you're 4 years old. And this one particular day, when my mother was at home, and she was a real strict Victorian woman, but we both needed to go to the toilet. So we had this very big toilet. It's like a big African, well, it's a big house in Iringa. And we both went into the toilet, and I shut the door. I didn't bother locking it because we never, who cares? Who's going to come and perv you? So we're both there in the toilet, and I said, "Look, I'll go first." So she stood there, and I took down my pants and took out the little fella. And she looked and she said, "Oh my gosh, I haven't got one of those." So she pulled down her pants, and I said, "Wow, you got something missing." And at that point in time, while we both got our pants around our knees and we're both looking at each other's, you know what, the door opens and my mother comes in, and she took one look and she was ropeable. This poor young girlfriend of mine, who lived, as I say, just across the road, she was never allowed back to the house again. And I was told never to have anyone in the toilet with myself again. And that's a true story. That was when I was about 4 years old. Now, let's get back to these jokes in the email. 5. Police. Number 1. While taking a routine vandalism report at an elementary school, I was interrupted by a little girl about 6 years old. Looking up and down at my uniform, she asked, "Are you a cop?" "Yes," I answered, and continued writing the report. My mother said, if I ever needed help, I should ask the police. Is that right? "Yes, that's right," I told her. "Well then," she said, as she extended her foot towards me, "would you please tie my shoe?" Oh, isn't that cute? Number 6. Police number 2. It was at the end of the day when I was parking my police van in front of the station. As I gathered my equipment, my canine partner, Jake, was barking, and I saw a little boy staring in at me. He asked, "Is that a dog you got back there?" I replied, "It sure is." Puzzled, the boy looked at me and then towards the back of the van. Finally, he said, "What did he do?" He obviously thought the dog had been arrested. 7. Elderly. While working for an organization that delivers lunches to elderly shut-ins, I used to take my 4-year-old daughter on my afternoon rounds. She was unfailingly intrigued by the various appliances of old age, particularly the canes, walkers and wheelchairs. One day I found her staring at a pair of false teeth soaked in a glass. As I braced myself for the inevitable barrage of questions, she merely turned and whispered, "The tooth fairy will never believe that." 8. Dress-ups. A little girl was watching her parents dress for a party. When she saw her dad don his tuxedo, she warned, "Daddy, you shouldn't wear that suit." He replied, "And why not, darling?" "You know that it will give you a headache the next morning." Don't you love innocence? 9. Death. While walking along the sidewalk in front of his church, our minister heard the intoning of a prayer that nearly made his collar wilt. Apparently his 5-year-old son and his playmate had found a dead robin. Feeling the proper burial should be performed, they had secured a small box and cotton wool, then dug a hole and made ready for the disposal of the deceased. The minister's son was chosen to say the appropriate prayers, and with sonorous dignity intoned his version of what he thought his father always said, namely, "Glory be unto the Father, and unto the Son, and into the hole he goes." I want this line used at my funeral. 10. School. A little girl had just finished her first week at school. "I'm just wasting my time," she said to her mother. "I can't read, I can't write, and they won't let me talk." 11. And the final one. Bible. A little boy opened his big family Bible. He was fascinated as he fingered through the old pages. Suddenly something fell out of the Bible. He picked up the object and looked at it. What he saw was an old leaf that had been pressed in between the pages. "Mama, look what I found," the boy called out. "What have you got there, dear?" With astonishment in the young boy's voice, he answered, "I think it's Adam's underwear." All right, guys, I'm going to leave it there. I hope that you enjoyed these little humorous jokes about the youngsters in our society. Please remember to subscribe to be kept informed. Ring the bell for the updates. Please like this video. Please share this video. And above all, please stay safe. Bye for now.